Right, okay. Alright. um, I know what I'm doing, guys. I do. Let me get me. I have been in such a mess recently, people. There we go. Oh my god, a fly got in here. Jesus. I don't know how. Well, I know how. My door is left open 24/7. But hold on. And I'm just doing my basic setup, so y'all can wait like just a few minutes. Alright. Oh, yeah, we are started. And then. Alright. Oh my god, that stupid fly is like. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to a new live stream. Alright. So it's been a while since we've done one, but like I've been so busy with school that I just kind of needed a break from doing stuff. But this is actually my last week. Tuesday is my last day. I have like one final, and then I am off for like a month. So I promise you, we are gonna have stream again. I've been posting a lot of Minecraft content recently, mostly because it's like it's not easy, but I spend a lot of time doing it. So it just kind of makes it, fun to like do and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is what I've been working on for like the past 2 days. Um, I'm kind of going off of following my little illustrations that I've been doing. And this is supposed to be taking place like the second day they've known each other. I've been going out of order, but for this one I really wanted to focus on like she makes him. Oh, was that the second day? It might have been their third day now that I think about it, because she makes him go to the dune. Um, I'm pretty sure it's the third day because the second day he takes her to the grocery store. Yeah, I'm getting my days mixed up. Anyway, this is still early on into their relationship. So let's get started. I'm on the rendering phase now. And I think, yeah, I was on her. But like I've been doing recently, I just keep going back and fixing the overall rendering to a piece until I kind of get it the way I want it to be. I need to go back into making my normal content. Um, we had, it's not even really an art show, but it was kind of an art show kind of thing in my 3D design class. We've had our little wearable art projects. We have them all set up for critique, and it was open for people to come and look at them. I've been meaning to make videos about those stuff. It's just one where I was so pressed for time, I didn't try to like fight it all. But I probably will make something like Monday talking about the art of making mistakes and how mistakes tend to make things, change for the better. Because it's like the shirt, we went through some mistakes. It really wasn't as riddled with mistakes as some of my other projects have been. But like the mask had to be remade 3 different times because of different things that were going on each time. Like one of them, I was trying a different material that I had on me and the material wasn't drying correctly. Or you have the second time where it was I used the incorrect type of clay to go with this other type of clay I was using, and they didn't fit together right, so everything started breaking. And then the third attempt was mostly just like it's it was so rushed as a result of trying to make everything work right. So pretty much, you know, you make mistakes in art, and it's like the one thing I think a lot of people need to get a little more comfortable with. I thought about making something talking about like my experience in art school and the big things I've learned. I think the biggest thing I've learned kind of goes into like my mistakes thing, and that's just the idea that nothing you do is perfect. Like you see a lot of people come in with this idea, especially because they're watching all of these like YouTubers talk about how like life changing art school was, but these YouTubers have these amazing styles already. They know these things because they had the opportunity to learn these things already. So then you have a lot of people who did not have the same opportunity go in and not really realize how big of a difference this makes in your education. Like, I did not really learn a lot of the fundamentals of art, and I kick myself all the time for that because that was such a important thing that I should have taken the time to learn. So of course the people that were able to, who maybe had like a better chance at like, and like I feel like I'm putting it so much on just like the situation, but it's also like you have to have like, well, you kind of have to have like the urge to do this stuff. And there was such a big influence and like this a big idea that to make art you didn't have to know these things. And that's what I felt like a lot of my, or like so much in my early art career was pushed back because you had everybody saying that you don't need to know these things to be a good artist. And so eventually this mindset just like keeps coming back in. And it's not true. You have to know so much to be a good artist. But going back into this idea of perfection is that like I know so many people who dropped out because they weren't perfect. They had flaws. Like they were working with materials they had never worked with before. So then when they suddenly just like weren't performing the way they pictured they would, they were, quitting. And it kills me because two of these people, I did not like these people. We did not get along, but they had beautiful art. They had really good art. They just needed to just like be less cocky, and that's the big problem. I think this is why a lot of like artists tend to drop out. It also goes with like the whole thing with critique. Now, I'm finishing my first semester. We have not really had like, of all the critiques I've done, I've only had one that honestly went bad. And that was my first ever one. And the reason this critique I think went so poorly was just it was my first time and I didn't know what to expect from it. And I knew that the piece I made just wasn't that good. It was both a I didn't have the time and I didn't put enough effort that I probably should have for this. And then I really wasn't upset with the results because I recognized that like it didn't go the way I wanted it to because I didn't let it go the way I wanted it to. And aside of that, I don't know what else I would say that I've really learned from art school. I mean, I'm like you're not really doing a lot of like I've worked with new material. I've worked with like charcoal. I've never really done that before this moment. Graphite. Never really did that one before. But then there's sometimes like the projects where we got to do everything on our own. I tended to do better, like our last 2D design project, which I gotta finish that one. I'm making a collage for like we did one with the golden spiral, and I was like, you know what? I feel like doing a collage because then it doesn't have to be like perfect. And then I was like, I know I like doing collages, so I'm going to do a second collage. My problem is just like I have to have like the urge to want to do stuff. Which I guess again is something that I've learned from art school, is that like you actually have to like, it's not enough to just be like, hey, I want to do something. You actually have to like make yourself do it. Because that's like another thing I noticed about like some of the people I have classes with. In my 3D design class, there were people who like the shirt design, which I love the shirt. I put so much effort into it. And there are people who did not put that much effort into it. And it's not really one where it's like, oh, you should have, because everybody has that different project that they like really cared about. I didn't care about the shoe we did. I was allergic to the wire, that's probably why. So I didn't put as much effort, and I admitted that. But I also think it's one where sometimes you just kind of have to tell yourself, I have to do this, and then you just have to. I'm just going to do a quick check here. That seems about right. So setting up for this art show, this is like, I've done like small art shows when I would do like the Saturday classes, but those were like super easy and they would help us out a lot. But this last like little setup we did, they didn't really help us. She's just like, you gotta figure it out on your own, which I was like not thrilled for. So we had to like work together as a group, which I think works when you don't have like difficult people to work with. But it kind of like made me realize like how many things like I didn't really pay attention to before. Cause like even for like critique in my drawing class, I would just kind of pin stuff up, and doing that it kind of hit me like, oh, it should be at eye level, and like there should be good spacing between things. I saw my shirt for like the first time because it's been sitting in with my teacher for like since I've turned it in. It's not been graded yet, surprising. Well, it was graded. It was like a 99. It was like 1 point taken off because it didn't look sturdy in all the places. But it was like the first time I've really looked at it since I submitted it. I was like, man, it felt like so much greater in my mind. And seeing it in person for the first time was like, oh yeah, no. It did have like, it's very different from what I remember. Trying to decide like I'm trying to come up with more YouTube content because like I want to start going back and doing some long form stuff. I say this every time I do live streams. I want to do more like long content, and then I never know what to do. I've been meaning to do a rendering tutorial, and I was supposed to do it with my last piece. And then I think my problem was like I hadn't posted anything in a long time, and I was just like, you know what, I need to like actually finish this one, so I'm not gonna do it. And then this one I remembered after I did the gray part of it. I'm like, well, it's too late now to do it. So I suppose I'll probably save it for the piece after this one to finally do like a rendering tutorial. I just mostly gotta figure out how I'm gonna describe everything. How does everything look? It's right there, like around here has not been colored in. Here we go. I'm trying to think of like what other fun stories I can talk about. Ooh, you know what? I gotta tell y'all about my speech teacher. Because that class is finally over and I think I'm like free from her. Now, I'm pretty like, oh, I don't know if I've talked about her yet in my other videos. But this is just like the speech teacher from hell, pretty much. This woman was like, she was in her 70s. And she was just kind of insane. Like, she would forget everything you told her. Not even just like what you told her. She'd forget literally everything. And she'd like take it out on you. I will say I am lucky though. Nate had the teacher, Nate had the teacher who would threaten to beat kids if they didn't turn something on time. So I'll just say I am fortunate enough to say I did not get that teacher. But this woman just would like, and then you would tell her stuff and she just like wouldn't know what you were talking about. Like, she recently just did grades and stuff and everybody in our class got bumped down like a whole letter grade and she's not done anything to fix it, and so I might be cooked, y'all. I'm passing her class perfectly fine. It's like in my parents' eyes, I'm not passing this class. So it's gonna be fun trying to put up with that. But I'm not too worried. I don't have to see her anymore. Our last class was Thursday and I just straight up skipped. I was not willing to put in that energy. You know what? I wonder. I'm gonna have to go through and recolor that. That's kind of what I want, like their base color to be. Is that right there, like this. I might have to like tone it down a bit. Okay. Okay. Oh, the neck is gonna be fun. Let's see, what else has been going on? Hmm? Well, I'm trying to think of more art school stuff because that's mostly what my life has been. Well, I finished speech class, art show. Ooh, okay, so in my drawing class, we started doing figure drawings, which I was incredibly nervous for, but honestly, they're not that bad. Now, they might get worse as, like, I go on in school. They could be, like, giving us super easy stuff because, we're, like, first years, but it's honestly not that bad. I would honestly even say it's kind of relaxing. I'm gonna warn y'all, I cannot see the chat right now. Like, so I don't like the way this sets up on the computer because all of what you can see on the screen is what I can see, except for my screen. Like, except for, like, my face. My face does not show up on my thing. I can literally only see the screen. And so I have to have, like, my phone set up so I can see this screen, which is not fun. Hold on, I gotta look at something else. Alright, here we go. We're back. I was working on something. Let's see. Ooh, some stuff I have been working on recently. I'm gonna do a Minecraft world tour, which I know, funny enough, I did one already, but I've added like a few more builds to our world, and so I pictured just like, I don't know, maybe it'd be better to like post it now that we've like done that, especially since like Nate has fallen out of his 2 week long Minecraft phase, and I'm still kind of in it because it gives me something to do. So I just keep trying to add stuff to our world. I'm building like a super big tower right now, kind of like, I don't know if you've seen them, but like I would always see like the tangled towers in Minecraft. It's just that. Here we go.